Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It has been a couple of weeks since I've checked in with you all. My apologies, I've been really busy doing some things, but you know what? I've been told by many of you that, Craig, don't put that pressure on yourself. Just release a video when you have the time, and I have the time, and hence the fact I'm doing it today. So welcome back to my family. Welcome to those who are new, and thank you for watching this video. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell notification for when I release videos like this. So this is a great channel. It's quite diverse. There's diverse subscribers from around the world who are into lots of different things and have requested this video. And there's one person that has requested this multiple times, and he's also sent me the introduction that I need to say. This hot Canadian guy, his name's Matty, so this video is for you, Matty. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and thanks for sending me messages on Instagram. So his request is, why and how did I get married? So we met through a boyfriend of mine, and we lived in Sydney together, the boyfriend and I, and he's Japanese. His name's Tadashi, and we lived in an apartment in Darlinghurst, and Yoko was a friend of Tadashi, and she worked in duty free and Tadashi worked in duty free. And that's how they knew each other. So I was introduced to her via Tadashi. We all became very good friends. She needed a place to live, so she lived with us in our apartment in Sydney. And then Tadashi ended up having to go back to Japan because his visa expired. And like I mentioned in my video Living in Tokyo, which I'll link above here, I decided that I would go and do a working holiday in Japan to go and move over with Tadashi. Yoko was also moving back at the same time. Coincidentally, we were all moving over. So Tadashi went over first. Yoko and I and another friend, Koichi, still lived in the one-bedroom apartment. You're thinking, how are there 4 people in a one-bedroom apartment? Well, Tadashi and I had the bedroom, and Koichi and Yoko lived in the lounge room. So you know, it was really good for being cost effective. From memory, I think the rent was $300 a week, which was quite a lot back in the day. It was 1998 when we lived together in New South Wales, in Darlinghurst in Sydney. Maybe 3 months after I lived in Tokyo with Tadashi, the relationship wasn't going too good. So we decided to go our separate ways, but we still lived together, which was fine. He met somebody else. I was just loving living in Japan. And I started seeing this guy, Hide, and just strangely, Yoko and I were hanging out together at my place in Tokyo, and we're watching some television, and we just started kissing when we were watching the television, and one thing led to another, and we just had this connection, and we felt very comfortable with each other. We knew each other very well, and we thought, you know what, let's give it a go. That's how it started. Well, we dated for about 3 months, I'd say, where I bought her a ring, an engagement ring. We decided that we'll get married because my visa in Japan was for 1.5 years as a working holiday visa, but it was in 6-month increments. So every 6 months I had to reapply for an additional 6 months. And it was approaching the end of the 2nd month, and I knew that the last 6 months was it. There's no more extensions after that. And residing in Japan is extremely difficult. They actually limit how many people go into their country and live there and have permanent type of visa situation. Even being in a married situation, it's pretty difficult. So we thought the best option was to get married in Japan, and we had a ceremony. So things in Japan are completely different to how it is in the Western world, as far as I know. In Japan, a lot of people have weddings, but that doesn't solidify their actual marriage. So then they have to go to a town hall and have their wedding consummated in the town hall. So what we did, we decided to have our town hall as our wedding, and then we decided to have a beautiful traditional Japanese dinner in a beautiful old house, and it was 3 stories tall. It was all tatami mats and origami doors and paper, everything. It was so traditional, with ladies in kimono. It was like you see in the movies, and there was a little bit of snow in the trees in the background as well. So it was very beautiful. It was very intimate. There were 10 people. There was no one really that was reflective of me and my circle. It was all of Yoko's family and friends that were there, and that was fine. And that was what we did for our wedding. So to get a visa was really quite difficult as well. Luckily, we attempted to have a spousal visa and it got declined. The reason it got declined was because quite a few years earlier, I put in a request for the same visa type, which is a 888, for a guy that I was in a relationship with. That relationship ended, and then I told the immigration people that we weren't together anymore, because that application progressed quite well and easily. So I notified them that. So when I applied for this one with being in a relationship with someone of a different gender, they pushed back on it. So then I spoke to my mum, and she was seeing a guy that knew somebody in the Japanese embassy in Tokyo. Well, sorry, the Australian embassy in Tokyo. So he reached out to him. Next day, our visa was approved. We were very lucky. It's something I really don't talk about. I don't have that connection anymore, so please don't hit me up for that type of connection. And I thought, okay, well, that's a good sign that we now have got approved, and now all we needed to do were to buy some airline tickets to move back home. So all this was in the duration of over 3 months from when we got married to when we decided to move to Australia, get our visa, buy the tickets, start packing, start organising, start getting rid of all the stuff that I had in Japan, and also prepare to move out of the apartment that I was in as well. We moved back to my mum's house in Beverly Hills in New South Wales, and Mum was so excited to have me home. She was also excited to see what this new relationship was all about, and this marriage as well. Maybe I should do a video with her very shortly when she comes down to see me about maybe 5 or 6 questions we can ask my mum about me. Maybe that's a good one. Maybe you should start shooting some comments about some questions that my mum should ask me. Okay, back on track. So we lived in Beverly Hills in the apartment with Mum for, I'd say, a good 2 months. In that time, we were looking for jobs. We were also looking for apartments. I found this amazing apartment in Martin Place, right smack bang in the middle of Sydney CBD. So we applied for that. We were successful with that. We were lucky enough to get some furniture from my sister and my sister's ex-girlfriend. something from my mum, a few things for my brother, and then we had to buy everything else. That was amazing. Living in that place in Sydney during the Olympics was one amazing buzz. I ended up getting a job at Prada in Sydney as well, and I think I only got that job because I could speak Japanese. So, but also because I was very fashion forward and I really love fashion, as you know. That's a huge part of my channel. So I was very, very, very happy to secure that job, and it was very close to home. So I walked to and from work and living a great life. Well, there were quite a few nights and so forth where Yoko wasn't coming home and she was going out with friends, and I started going out with some friends, and then we weren't doing anything together anymore, and it was just not a nice situation to be in. And so that was pretty much the unraveling and undoing of our relationship. It's pretty sad that we put all that energy and time into getting together, moving overseas, relocating, and living an expat life, I guess, and for it to fall apart. And you know, I hear it's not uncommon, and it is a shame. It is a shame. So we got divorced 2 years after we got married. She said to me that she didn't love me the same anymore, and I can't change that. And I thought I was very mature with my response and said, well, I can't change that. So I'm not going to stress about you loving me or not loving me the same or how you wanted to, and that's fine. Let's just go our separate ways. And it was quite an easy separation, which was very, very good, because I hate drama, and that's definitely not how you want to end something that was pretty special. So that was how that ended. And do we still speak anymore? No. What's the point? What's the point of speaking to her? She's got a new life in Japan, I'm presuming that she went home. I've attempted to look for her on Instagram just to see what she's doing, where she's at, what she looks like, because this was a long time ago. This was in 1999, 2000. No, it was 2001 we got divorced. And so no, we don't speak anymore, which is fine. I have attempted to look for her on Instagram and Facebook just to see what she looks like, what she's up to. Not to actually make contact with her, but just to be a sticky peek, just to see if she is actually happy with somebody, which is what I want for her. I appreciate Maddie for writing in and saying, you know, this is what you wanted to hear. Hopefully I've answered all your questions. If there's a particular question that you do want me to answer in relation to that relationship or that time in my life, please leave a comment. I'll answer the questions in the comments there. Please let me know if you like these types of videos where you decide on what I talk about, because I actually find it quite interesting to know what you want to hear, and I'm more than happy to share anything with you. So please comment away. Anyway, take care. Have a good day, have a good week, have a good night, whenever you're watching this video. And remember to give it a thumbs up, and remember to check in again and watch one of my videos. Have a great day. See ya, bye.